Hello and welcome to another SketchUp tutorial. Now we'll take a look at box modeling. Box modeling is a method of creating 3D models using very simple primitive shapes such as boxes. So I will start by creating a new project. So here we have basic selection, so you can either make your project in meters or inches. I'll go for meters. Whenever you create a new project, you get by default a person inside of this project, so that's quite useful because we can measure the scale according to this person. Okay, so what's quite useful, whenever you create on click on something in SketchUp, you can read its information. So for example, this object's name is Laura, so this is Laura right here. If I were to create a plane, let's say like this, and I want to select the part inside of it, it's 5.55 meters squared. If I would select a particular line, it will give me its length. Okay, and this is good because you know the measurements of each object. Another way of taking a look at how big something is, you can select a tape measure tool and just click and drag, and you will see under the cursor how big is something, the length of that particular line. Okay, so now we can go ahead and create something. So in this tutorial we will be making a chair using box modeling technique. So let's begin by creating a seat. So let's say it's 55 by 55 centimeters, and I'm using in the bottom right dimensions. Whenever I create something, you can see I can see the exact measurements. Okay, so from here on I will do my chair kind of like upside down. So I will extrude legs from here and then I will flip it upside down. I will do it this way because it is then easier to add at the back of the chair if I do it that way. So I will go ahead and extrude it a little bit so it has some thickness. Now I want to add places where I will be extruding my legs. So what I want to do is draw a few boxes. So I'm going to draw one here, one across, one like this, and one like that. Okay, so this is approximately the same size. I'm quite happy with that. I can now go ahead and extrude the legs. So that's normally about 45 centimeters long. I'll do that. So first one I extruded using this distance right here. The rest of the legs I will be extruding using snapping tool. So I will extrude my leg, right, and then I will just move it and align it to my first leg like this, and I will do the rest of them just like that. Here we go. See, and here we have our, well, so far it is a stool. Okay, now I can select the whole model and rotate it upside down. Okay, so I'm going to use a rotate tool. So if I were to click, I can click on the object and then I will extend the line, and if I were to extend the line and then click again, I can rotate in that direction. Okay, so I do not want to rotate it this way, I want to rotate it along y-axis. So in order to do that, I can either find a plane which is on y-axis, so for example this side here, or if I press left on my keyboard, so you can see up, down, left, I will change the position of protractor. So if I do that, I extend it here and I will rotate it 180 degrees. So same thing here, look in the bottom right corner. I'm gonna stop when it's 180 degrees. So here we go. Now it's 180 degrees. Might wanna move it up a bit. just like that, maybe a little bit higher. It's kind of, I think, floating now. That kind of works. The next thing we can do is add the back of the chair. Okay, and the way I'm going to do that is using the line tool. So I'm going to draw a line. Let's do it from here to here. It doesn't need to be that precise. And now we'll take this section and extrude it. Okay, so here's my extrusion. So how tall should it be? Let's say 50 centimeters, maybe a little bit taller, so it looks kind of proportional. And the chair can lean back a little bit, so we can try to do that by clicking on the top part and moving it a little bit back. Okay, so if it's not moving back, you should just press down key, which will move it on green axis. Okay, or this time I'm pressing left. Okay, so you can see when I did that, it actually creates a pretty cool geometry, and I might keep it, but what I was trying to achieve is something slightly different. So I'm going. Let's just make a copy of this chair. So I'm going to take this chair, copy. So Control C. I press Control C. Now I'm pressing Control V, and I've duplicated my chair. Okay, so I want to keep a copy of that version where I moved it back a bit, because I thought that looked kind of cool. So let's move it like this. Again, I did it pressing back key. Okay. Now let's do the same kind of recline, decline on this chair, but without this part. Okay, so what I want to do is add extra geometry. So again, I'll use a line tool, and I'm going to go around it like that, just where it guides me to go. So like that, and I think that should be enough. You can see I will not create this kind of shape because it is now separated by a line, so it has extra geometry. So if I were to click here, oh, the previous chair is still selected somehow. If I were to click on select tool, click on the top part, and then move it back a bit, so here I'm moving it, I will get a nice recline. Okay, and this is how you create a chair in SketchUp. So what we'll do for now is just practice with basic shapes. So try to make a chair, a stool, a table, simple boxy things, like even a box. How would you make a box? Things like that. And once you are ready, we'll move on into more advanced techniques. Try to make something round, try to make something curvy. But for now, stick with boxy things just to get used to the software.